Hi. You probably can't tell, but I am currently surrounded by a lot of books. This probably will be my biggest book haul that I ever filmed on this channel. And listen, I don't have any excuses, but also this is a collective book haul from the past 3 months. And during that time I did have my birthday, I was traveling, and not all of those books I bought myself, some of them I received. So, just saying. Still, I bought a lot of books. So, without further ado, let's get started. I put all of those books in different categories, kind of depending on when or where I got them, or if they have a theme. So they're all put into different stacks, and as always I will be telling you why I got those books and not necessarily what those books are about. I mean, I can tell you maybe the themes of the book or what intrigued me, but more often than not I don't know the whole synopsis of the book. So let's start with the first stack that is the least interesting, because those are the books that I have mentioned before or even read. So let's get those out of the way first. We have The Dictionary of Lost Words by Pip Williams. This is a historical fiction novel that I was supposed to read during my historical fiction reading vlog, but I just unfortunately did not get to it. I think it's about this girl in the early 20th century? Wait, I actually don't know. Is it? No, late 19th century, maybe early 20th century, I'm not sure. Yeah, and she, I think, is gathering forgotten or lost words for this dictionary? Question mark? Sounds interesting. Me and historical fiction, we have a complicated relationship because I like to think that I really love historical fiction, but I rarely ever read it. I buy those books and the premise always sounds very interesting, but I'm never in the mood to read historical fiction. I don't know why. Maybe because historical fiction tends to be quite long, I'm not sure, but hopefully I will get to this one soon. Then we have Picnic at Hanging Rock by Joan Lindsay. I have read this one in my Summerween reading vlog, I believe, and I didn't love it. If I remember correctly, I gave it 3 stars, and also I don't really like the cover, so there's a chance I'm going to get rid of it. But this book was about those 4 girls in an Australian boarding school, where during one summer day their school went on this picnic trip to Hanging Rock and 4 girls disappeared, and it's horror mystery classic. This is set at the very beginning of 20th century. Actually, I think it's the year 1900s. But yeah, not sure if I will keep it. And lastly, we have Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. I actually have more than one edition of this book, even though I don't love Mansfield Park. So here's the deal. This year I have reread Mansfield Park just for the kicks. Just because I wanted to. There are some books by Jane Austen that I have reread more than once, and this one I only read once and never reread it until this year. And it was an interesting experience because while my rating did not change, I still gave it 3 stars. It was quite a different reading experience. First things first, I have read the play that this book is kind of about. Without any spoilers, the characters in this book put up a play, and it's a very important kind of part of the book. And before I started my reread of Mansfield Park, I've decided to read the play that they are preparing in this book, and it did give me a lot of context. And not only I understood why this play was supposed to be scandalous, but also all the discussions about this book that the characters have just made a lot more sense. Also in my mind, the play was a central plot of this book, and I don't know, in my head I thought this plot point was at least half of the book, which is not true. It's maybe 50 pages, if that. It's interesting, when I was reading it for the first time, it was dragging on so much, while in reality it doesn't take up that much of the book. But yeah, still a 3 star, I do like this edition. I did buy it because this one had notes and none of my other editions had notes in them, so. Okay, the most boring books out of the way. Okay, let's go chronologically, shall we? In the beginning of June, I was in Berlin with my friend and we did visit a few bookstores, English bookstores there. And in one of those English bookstores, they were selling used books, by the way. I got 2 books. First, I got a collection of plays, Our Town and Other Plays by Thornton Wilder. This collection has... Is it Our Town? Yeah, it's Our Town. This collection has the play Our Town, which I really would like to read before I film my infamous video about play recommendations. So yeah, I snatched this up. I really like this edition. It's the, you know, old Penguin Modern Classics edition, and plays sometimes can be very expensive, so I'm really glad that I got it. Can you see, like, the cover is kind of creepy. Can you see? Like, there's a child in a... what do you call that? I will put it on the screen, but yeah, why is it so far away from the adult, like, and he's just staring into distance lifelessly? I don't know, but I do like this cover. And also I have found They Were Sisters by Dorothy Whipple. I was really surprised that I found this book there. Normally those editions, what are they called? Not Persepolis, what Persephone books. Those books tend to be quite expensive. And I actually really like how simple they are, just like a grey cover with the title. That's what it looks like. And inside they tend to have some kind of patterns. Very pretty. The font is actually really good. It's really big and I like the font itself. Not sure. Can you see it? Probably not. Not sure if you can see it, but it's very easy to read. I do not know anything about this book. I just snatched it up because I have heard about Dorothy Whipple. Who was it? I will put her channel here and in the description, but this booktuber, really loves Dorothy Whipple, and because of her I always wanted to try one of her books. So there's that. And lastly, I went to not a used bookstore, but like a bookstore with new books, and they had The Great Circle by Maggie Shipstead, which is another historical fiction. I think it was nominated for the Booker Prize. It was shortlisted for the Booker Prize in 2021, but I'm pretty sure it was also shortlisted or longlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction. Okay, let me Google that because I'm confused. Yeah, okay, it was shortlisted for the 2022 Women's Prize for Fiction. And I've heard like nothing but positive reviews, I'm pretty sure. It's about a woman who I think wants to be a pilot. Is that correct? But yeah, it is quite long. Oh my god, 600 pages, that is insane. But here's the thing, here's what happened in that bookstore. So, I could not decide what I wanted to buy because I set out to buy one new book in English, and like my list was so long, I did not know what to buy, so I took like, I don't even know, 6 or 7 books that I was interested in. I sat down because they had like little chairs or like just places where you could sit down, and I've read the first few pages of all of those books, and this is how I decided what I'm going to buy. And interestingly, this was not the book that was number 1. Like, I ranked them all pretty much. This was my second favorite. The reason why I didn't buy the book that I liked the most was because I didn't like the cover of that one. And that book was A Certain Hunger by Chelsea G. Summers. The other cover with that, like the pineapple, I just, is it yellow? I think it was yellow or green. I just didn't like the cover. But I was very surprised because I really didn't think I would be interested in this book. But when I started reading, I just really liked the writing style. It was a bit pretentious because it's about this like food critic who is accountable and like kills men, I think. I think it does have this like good for her energy, and I do love this cover. So this is the book that I bought after I came back from Berlin, and I was like, I need to have this because I really enjoyed reading the first page, the first few pages or something like that. And I actually bought this with the money that my friend sent me for my birthday. So this is kind of the next stack books that I got for my birthday. So my friend Erin, who lives in Seoul currently in Korea, she just, you know, sent me like a gift card, not a gift card, just like sent me the money, and she was like, girl, buy yourself whatever you want. And like, listen, I love those kind of like gifts. I do know best what I would like to receive. Like, I don't like surprises. If you want to buy me something, ask me. I always have a list of like things I want to have. So yeah, I bought this one with the money that she sent me, and also Slow Days Fast Company by Eve Babitz. This, if I remember correctly, this is a collection of short stories, and I don't know, I've heard people mention Eve Babitz and overall this collection in relation to writers like Joan Didion and like her book Played as It Lays. So I don't know what it is. Is it like thematically they're similar? Are they all about like young women in LA being depressed? I don't know, but I really love the cover. That the pink with the black is just stunning to me, and it is very short, so I would like to get to it at some point in my life. So yeah, thank you Erin for those two books. If you didn't know, those are the gifts from you. And next we have a book that I also received for my birthday, On Being Ill. This is a collection of essays about, well, being ill. So when it comes to like people you would have heard about, we have essays from Virginia Woolf. He wrote the essay On Being Ill. Also, we have one essay by, how do you say that? Audre Lorde? That's not how you say it, I'm sorry.
Audre Lorde. Audre Lorde.
Yeah, I do always like reading books about history and sociology of medicine and on disability and chronic illness, chronic pain. So this is actually a great gift. Thank you, Marta. Ooh, also like Nonfiction November is coming up, so maybe I'll get to it then. But the last gift, actually, that I received not for my birthday, and the last gift, well, it's actually not the last book that I have received, but this is a book that I got from my dad for my name's day, actually. So not birthday, but name's day. I'm not sure how many countries have that, but in Poland we have something called name's day, which is what it sounds like you celebrate your name. So I feel like in Poland it's something that older generations celebrate more. Like for most of my friends, I don't know when their name's day is, but I do always get like calls from my family on my name's day. You know, wishing me happy name's day. That sounds so weird in English, but yeah, this is what I asked for from my dad. Because this is not what I asked for. He asked me like, what do you want for your name's day? And I said like, nothing, I don't need anything, because like name's day to me isn't really a big deal. But he was like, no, I know you have something in mind. Like you always have a list of things that people could give to you. This sounds bad, but like this, like for Christmas and like for my birthdays, I prefer to give like a list of things that I would like to get rather than people like coming up with ideas. So obviously I don't give them to people unless they like ask for it. So this is what I'm talking about. Like my dad said, like, I know you would prefer to get for me something that you know you would have liked. So I was like, okay, let me send you a link to a book. So long story short, no, that was still a long story. I got Golem Girl by Riva. Oh god, I don't know how to say her name. Okay, let me Google that real quick. Okay, I think the author is called Riva Lehrer. So this is a memoir that I also have heard nothing but like raving reviews. Riva was born with something called spina bifida, and from what I understand, it's a birth defect where your spine just doesn't form properly. And from what I've heard, the author is a Jewish queer artist who was born in 1958, and yeah, this is her memoir. I really wanted to get this in physical format because it does have some photos inside. Let me find something. Yeah, you can see here. So I just really wanted to experience this memoir this way. I wonder if those are like her drawings? I'm not sure. There are some photos too. Yeah. I'm really excited about this memoir. I really need to read more nonfiction. Like these days, I'm not reading any nonfiction. This needs to change. Next stack is something that I'm very excited about. I was looking through my Goodreads TBR, and I just wanted to like clean it out a bit, remove some books that I'm no longer interested in, and I have encountered a few books that was like, wait, what is this? I don't remember putting those books on the list, and I clicked on all of them, and I think what prompted me to add them to my TBR was hearing about Sirens and Muses, which is a book about like 4 artists living in New York, and I haven't actually read it, but I just have heard about it, and I was like, this sounds amazing. I wonder if there are other books similar to this. So I googled it, and I found those 3 books that I haven't heard anyone talking about. So I've decided to buy them on a whim because I've decided that it would be good for me to read some books that, I don't know, seem underrated, because I'm really interested in all of those books like synopsis. So, you know, I do have a platform, not a very big platform, but I do think it would be good to, you know, share with you some books that are not just talked about enough. I mean, obviously I haven't read them, but hopefully I will like them. It's getting darker and darker. Should I like zoom you in a bit, because I feel like it might be brighter if I'm closer to you? Okay, I feel like it's better. So we have The Ensemble by Aja Gabel. This book is about 4 classical musicians. Yeah, they would have never found one another except for the art that drew them together. On Goodreads it says, addictive novel about 4 young friends navigating the cutthroat world of classical music and their complex relationships with each other, as ambition, passion and love intertwine over the course of their lives. I did play the piano for a few years, and I always found books about classical musicians very interesting, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. We also have LOTE by Shola von Reinhold. This book, hold on, I also will read you the synopsis that I have found online. A literary novel which follows present-day narrator Matilda's fixation with the forgotten Black Scottish modern poet Hermia Drum. LOTE is an exploration of aesthetics, beauty, and the ephemeral realm in which they exist. Sounds a bit pretentious, but yeah, exploration of beauty, aesthetics, art, poetry. Sounds interesting, and I do think this has some queer themes, so I'm very excited about this one. And lastly, we have The Life and Death of Sophie Stark by Anna Narf. This one, hold on, a story of an enigmatic film director told by the 6 people who loved her most. Okay, so here we have a film director. Yeah, on Goodreads it says, gripping and provocative, The Life and Death of Sophie Stark tells a story of fame, love, and legacy through the propulsive rise of an iconoclastic artist. What does it mean, iconoclastic? Okay, some of those novels do sound pretentious. I will tell you which one is the most, I don't know, worth reading. Books about artists, they are going to be pretentious, okay? The next stack is books that my brother bought me in Paris. Basically, my brother went to Paris and he asked me if I wanted anything from Paris. And I was like, I have no idea. Because like, I don't know, I was thinking wine maybe, but I don't really drink that much alcohol. I was thinking maybe something to eat. But there was nothing I was really feeling excited about. And then I realized there is this bookstore in Paris called... what is it called? I already forgot. Oh yeah, Shakespeare & Company. So I told him I would like some books. Shocking. And I have heard that when you go there and when you buy a book at the bookstore, they like give you a stamp on the book. Let me show you, because all of them have those stamps. Here. Have a stamp from Shakespeare & Company. Very pretty. So he got me 3 books. 2 of them I asked for, one is a very random one, but let's start with that. We have The Medium is the Message by Marshall, McLuhan and Quentin Fiore. This is, I don't actually know, blending text, image and photography. The Medium is the Message illustrates how the growth of technology utterly reshapes society, personal life and sensory perceptions, so that we are effectively shaped by the means we use to communicate. Cool. Basically it has a lot of pictures, so I think I can get through it very quickly. So there's that. I didn't ask for it, but he bought me that. And the 2 books that I have asked for are Nausea by, I don't know how to say it. I'm gonna just say Sartre. Jean-Paul Sartre. Let's say Sartre. I don't care. This author is a very famous French philosopher, and he was actually the partner of Simone de Beauvoir, who also was a French writer, philosopher in the 20th century. Sorry, I had to take a break because my camera was getting really hot. But yeah, Nausea. I have heard that this book is about a young writer, and I'm guessing it's going to be exploring existentialism, because that was Paul Sartre's focus when it comes to philosophy and approach to life. I don't think this is going to be a very happy read, but I don't know, sounds like an important one. And lastly, when it comes to gifts from Paris, we have Good Morning Midnight by Rhys. I have heard about this book from Emmy's channel. She seemed to really enjoy it. Is that true? I don't think I made it up, but I do think it is about a woman who is living in Paris and she is struggling. Yeah, 1930s Paris. I don't think she will be having a very good time there. But yeah, both of those books I asked my brother to buy me because first things first, this is written by a French writer and this book is set in Paris, so that's why I asked for them. And yeah, this one I really would like to get to soon. And last pile, I know this is a lot, but the last pile is books that I couldn't really put into another pile. Like, those are just random books I didn't know how to categorize. So first things first, the book I have bought very recently, we have Mary Barton by Elizabeth Gaskell. I am thinking about reading this book for Victober. I have read Wives and Daughters by Elizabeth Gaskell, also North and South, and also Cranford. I think all of those books I gave 4 stars, maybe. So I really enjoy Elizabeth Gaskell's books. I never really fully loved them, but I've heard this book is a very interesting one because it's not necessarily about the characters, but I do think she explores the working conditions of 19th century, working class, which was also the theme of North and South. So I'm guessing this will explore the kind of class conflict. Really excited about it. I really like this edition. It's quite small and the font is quite small, which isn't something that I really enjoy in books, but I don't know. Also, I can't get rid of the sticker. It leaves a mark when I try to take it off. But yeah, I kind of wanted to get a small edition of Mary Barton because all of the other ones looked very long, and I would like to trick my brain into thinking that Mary Barton is short and that I can read it during Victober, even though my Victober TBR is already insane. So, we love living in delusion. Next we have Snow Country by Yasunari Kawabata. I actually don't remember why I bought this book. I think I found it on sale in some bookstore in Warsaw and I was like, I've heard about this book and I maybe would like to read it, but mostly I'm gonna buy it because it's on sale. Yeah, I don't really have a reason here. I think it's about, listen, I just really like kind of seasonal reads, and I've heard the title Snow Country and I was like, okay, this is a perfect book to read in winter. So yeah, I got it. And lastly, we have a very random purchase, but I got The Little Prince by, I do not know how to say this author's name, but he's French. I got this book because I am thinking about doing a 24-hour readathon where I only read classics. Which, listen, that is a terrible idea, because I do know that, the key to success when it comes to 24-hour reading vlogs is reading a variety of different books, different genres, different formats. So reading only classics during a 24-hour readathon, that is just setting myself up for failure. So I'm still not sure if I'm going to do it, but I just thought, it would be nice to have like a children's classic to read kind of in between to turn my brain off. It does have illustrations. It's very short, it has big font. Yeah. I don't know. Is that a good idea? Will you like me to do it? Because like, here's the thing. I'm trying to convince myself. Like, sure, reading only classics in 24 hours sounds like a bad idea, because my brain will like melt by hour 5 probably. But also classics, like that's not really a genre, and I feel like I can still find kind of very different books within the classics umbrella, like there are different genres within the classics umbrella of books, you know? Does that make sense? Like I was thinking, are there any maybe graphic novels that would be considered classics? The only books that come to mind to me would be Mouse, which I have read, and also Persepolis, which I have also read. So I don't know if you have any like ideas for books, like for classics that would be kind of easy to read, or I don't know if you have any ideas what classics I could read for a 24-hour readathon, so that I have like a variety of different books. Leave those suggestions in the comments. For now, I have Little Prince, and also obviously I have some other ideas for classics, short classics that I could read for the vlog. But yeah, those are all of the books. That was a lot. Okay, my battery died just before I could wrap this video up. So this probably was a pretty long video, but I have to say, I feel like this is a really good stack of books. I'm really excited about all of them, and yeah, you'll probably see quite a few of them in the like upcoming videos. And that's everything I have for you today. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next one. Bye!